Hey guys, Eminem Gaming here, and today we're back with another video. Today we'll be talking about my review of Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta that is obviously running from now till the 13th. So if you're interested, make sure you pick up the Nathan Drake collection. Either if you've got a friend, borrow it off him, do the first chapter, save it, and then obviously start the game, because you have to have a save file. Or rent it if you've got any rental services, game rental services near you. Make sure you check that out. So so obviously it's a beta. It's not the full game, not the full multiplayer, sorry, yet. But you can understand from a beta that they're going to have a lot of the things the same. They're not going to change it drastically. You know, before the game they may nerf some things, they may take some things out, change them a bit, but it's not going to be a completely different game. First of all, I think the main topic that I'm going to talk about today is obviously the mysticals and sidekicks. The most worrying thing for a lot of people is that. So my opinion on them is the mysticals work great, in my opinion, apart from one, and I'll get into that now. Now, if you watch my my kind of first impressions on the live stream, you'll know that I was worried about the staff of Aramanco, because I didn't know how it was going to show people on the map and all that sort of stuff. In my opinion, they've done it perfect. Obviously it shows pretty much the whole team on the map, but it also, to be in its defence, shows you where the staff is, and it doesn't take too many shots. So although it's very useful, it's very easy to take out at the same time. So yeah, no problems with that. You've got the dagger that you put into the ground, which slows down the enemies. Again, literally with that sort of thing, just try and roll, get out of that, keep rolling. Obviously they're all meant to use as an advantage, but there is slight things you can deal with that, and yeah, you know, I'm fine with that. That mystical. I'm just trying to think what else was there. You've got the Chintamani stone, which really helps. If I'd recommend using that if you've got a team with you. If you're playing with random people online, it can be slightly less effective. Obviously it helps you, but it's a team healing thing as well. But yeah, useful if you like to heal people. You're not like a very attacking player. You know, if you like to stay back a bit, like on The Last of Us, you know, they've really integrated that into this game, which I think is fantastic. So yeah, we're going to get onto the one that does annoy me slightly, because it's how overpowered it is, and that's the djinn, or the spirit of the djinn, or whatever. Now, the problem is with this is literally you cannot hit these guys. Like, well, you can, because I have taken a few people using the djinn out a few times, but it is so difficult to use. It's easy to use. It's so difficult to combat that really there's not much you can do. The hits are stronger, even though it's still, I think, 3 hits, 2 hits maybe, but it's just so hard to really, you know, get the person. They can literally hit you, zoom to the back, hit you again, zoom to the front, and hit you again, and it's just really difficult to counteract, as you know. And I think they really need to nerf that. If they could take out the game, I would, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because I understand, yeah, in Uncharted 3, they want to have, you know, this fan service, which I think is fantastic. You know, it's the last game, and I think they're really putting a lot of things in for the fans, and I understand that. But it just doesn't work. And in Uncharted 3, those characters look nothing like the the Djinn, you know, that you in Uncharted 3, the Djinn, they look nothing like it. So one, why? Two, the big thing about the Djinn, yeah, they could zoom, but it was the fact they were so powerful. You know, I think if they had this right, like the Brute, where you can take a lot of damage, um, but or something like that, you can take a lot of damage, but you're slower and you can't hit as much, or even if you can only use like a certain gun or melee, you know what I mean? But it's just overpowered, and I just don't enjoy that particular mystical. The rest work really well, in my opinion. Now the sidekicks, there's the healer, there's the hunter, who like kind of grabs people and lets you shoot them. There's the brute, and the healer, brute, medic. No, healer, brute, hunter, and marksman. Which now they all have obviously their own sort of powers and all that, as you expect. And they all work really well. They have the weaknesses. A little tip for you guys: if you are fighting a brute, aim for the head. Now, once you shoot the guy in the head and you take off his helmet, it can be almost sometimes 2 or 3 shots and he's down. So I like the fact that, you know, if you're really accurate with your shots, you can take him down pretty easy. And I think that's definitely a good thing to combat it. Yeah, so that was you've got the medic, who's really good, especially if you're a high attacking player and you like your combat and like being in amongst it. You know, you're going to be down sometimes. He's really quick, and he heals you up if you're down. He can also heal up teammates, I believe. I haven't really used him too much. The marksman, if you can get her in a really good spot, like in a corner of a map or something. On this map, if you look where I am now on the map, straight ahead up is a brilliant spot on top of a rock to put the the marksman. Awesome. And you can really get, you get money from when they attack and all that good stuff. But I think, as you can see, there's 2 of them on the map now. The brute is probably the most useful for my playstyle. If you like sniping and all that good stuff, probably the marksman or even the hunter to grab people. But for me, the brute, if you want to be in amongst it, yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, that's the 2 main things. I think they need to nerf the Djinn. But apart from the Djinn, I think they've pretty much got it nailed down. So I'm going to talk about now a few things that they need to just smoothen out for the full game. Matchmaking times. They're a lot better now with the I'd say the 1.4 update. For me personally, the 1.4 to the 1.5 have been fine, brilliant. They're working really well. Get matches within, seconds nearly, which is awesome. Okay, but on the first one, I could not get on. The second one, could not find a match, and the third one, I'd got into matches, but it would kick me out. So 4 and 5, whatever they've done, keep it for the main game because it works really well. So matchmaking times, obviously quicker, or quicker from the start, which is 1.0 update or whatever. So what else? Oh, downs. Okay, now hear me out on this one. So when you down an enemy, sometimes I've got headshots, right? Downed an enemy, and they're behind like I don't know, for example, a wooden plank or something, a wooden barrier. Sometimes they're behind that wooden barrier, but the head sticks out. Do you know what I mean? And I can shoot the head through a barrier and get a KO. I think, obviously for me, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm getting KOs. If that goes against you, you're going to be annoyed because you're like, I'm behind cover. How is he shooting me through this? And it has happened a few times. as well as when you do get a down and a KO, sometimes, now it's obviously funny and everything, but it is a glitch, and with any glitch, sometimes they can have adverse effects on the game. Do you know what I mean? So what they need to do with that is, so I down someone, I can shoot them, get the KO, and they'll fly across the map. Like, it's funny to watch, but at the same time, it's something they need to smoothen out for the full game, for the full retail game, which I'm sure they will do. But yeah, that's my guns. I'm just trying to think. Is that I haven't really. I should have probably tried a few more guns. Now I reached the level cap, which is level 8. Well, I think it's level 8 because I got to level 8, unlocked all the weapons and all that. All the weapons and all that good stuff. But I can level up to level 9, but you need 9,999,000 dollars or whatever, and I don't think I'm going to do that by the 13th. So I think that's a bit high in the sky for me. But yeah. So what I really love about the game is obviously, like I say, the graphics are beautiful. I just surprised that this is only like 900p. I just can only imagine how beautiful the full game's going to be at 1080p, the single player, sorry. But like I said in my sort of impressions of the live stream, the frame rate online makes a massive difference. It feels smoother, it runs better. Obviously graphically it doesn't look better, but it runs better, and that's the most important thing online. To be honest, if you told me this was 900p, if this was 1080p, sorry, I'd believe it, because it does look so nice. But yeah, like I say, it's really confusing how, and a bit worrying how good the single player is going to look. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I am a massive Uncharted fan. It's one of them games, even though I suck online, like Star Wars Battlefront, I'm terrible online, as you can probably see. I just can't stop playing, even though I'm getting an awful KD. I'm struggling at the game. I just can't stop playing, and I just keep leveling up, and I'm loving it, even though I'm bad at it. Like I say, my reviews aren't based on my skill. They're based on gameplay, mechanics, sound, and how the game feels and all that good stuff. The sound of the guns, you feel like you're shooting a gun. I know that sounds a bit like what's he on about, but like you genuinely feel like you're in a battle. When I'm shooting someone, as you see there, I feel like almost like worried, like I've got to get this guy, and it's awesome. It's honestly an awesome game to play. Real pleasure, honestly, to play this. I think overall, it's going to be, in my opinion, the best online multiplayer game next year, in my opinion. Especially if they can just smooth out some of the things, like the glitches with, flying across the map when you get a KO or you get KO'd. The Jin, nerf that a bit. I know mysticals are meant to make you powerful as well as sidekicks, but at the end of the day, there's being powerful, then there's being like overpowered, untouchable, that sort of stuff. So yeah, nerf that, and I think it's going to be a fantastic thing. The problem I had with The Last of Us, even though I put tens, if not more, hours into the online to get the platinum, was obviously it was fantastic multiplayer. I wouldn't even bothered if it wasn't a good multiplayer. The problem I had was very slow paced. Although it's got some mechanics of The Last of Us, I feel that this is like, as you can see now, you're sprinting everywhere, and it's fast paced and it's hectic and everyone's around you. Even though there's only 5 players, it feels like 20 sometimes, especially when they've got a good team. an awesome game, and for me, like I say, multiplayer game of the year. Even though I don't like multiplayers, I can definitely see me sinking tens, if not probably near 100 hours into this online, um, which is awesome. The fan service, like I said, you know, they've got even very sort of. I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I don't know where that staff of Eremenko is from. Like, I believe I read somewhere maybe like an animated series or something, or even like a comic or something. I don't even know. I could be talking nonsense. It might be from the Golden Abyss. But yeah, very sort of abstract references that the hardcore, and even I'd say I'm pretty, you know, I love Uncharted, the games, you know. I mean, I'm not into the Uncharted universe, but like the games I know pretty much everything about. So you know, the gin, I'm like, yeah, this is from Uncharted 3, those annoying things, basically what I call them. But Uncharted 2, you know, the Chintamani stone, which made Lazarevic an absolute annoyance to beat on crushing. Even on Uncharted 1, you know, the big tomb, which is obviously the Wrath of El Dorado, which is where you go in Uncharted 1 at El Dorado. I think they've really done a fantastic job at putting that all together. And I think, you know, I don't think, you know, if you were to ask me, I'd rather there be an Uncharted 5, of course. But I think if you're going to end a series as great as Uncharted, this is how you do it. Just want to quickly speak. Again, my review, I'm going to give the multiplayer beta probably 8.5 out of 10. It definitely has the potential to be a 9 upwards to 10. But it's just, at the moment, the matchmaking was horrible at the start. I have to be honest with you guys. Matchmaking was just horrendous. I sat, because you know me, I like to do my reviews for my channel and all that good stuff. I was sat 2 hours in and I could not get a match. When I got a match, they kicked me out of PSN. So that really has lowered the score maybe half a mark. You know, the few glitches with head sticking out of cover and all that stuff hasn't lowered the mark, because I understand it's a beta, it's going to have these sort of things, but definitely something that would lower a mark in a full game release for me. But yeah, I think, you know, Uncharted 4 is going to be the best way to end the series. In my opinion, I think it's going to be the best one. You know, got Nathan Drake with just an average, average day job. You know, really down to earth. You know, Nathan Drake's obviously famous for being this outlandish, big, bold character who, you know, is like just flying off buildings and exploding stuff and climbing trains after being exploded. Although I think you're going to have those sequences, you're going to have a more down-to-earth sort of person, and I think I just can't wait for it. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the multiplayer. Are you loving it as much as me? I just can't stop playing it. As you can see there, you see what I mean when you KO someone, they just go flying. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. The multiplayer beta and the trailer. I'll see you guys later. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and goodbye.